Chrome should not have taken this long. 20 seconds already? So I'm gonna stream. I should be in bed. Uh, yeah, because Buckley posted yet another woke video. He claims to have gotten, or yeah, he claims to take a look at both sides. If you look at the actual video, it's of course one-sided. Oh, and I got another mic, by the way, so I should be able to hear it too.
An all-new episode of Nerd Rants, plus the entire back catalog.
Just chilling.
Declare an allegiance to Dosa Buckley.
Alright, here it is. Free speech again.
Sometimes I wonder if it
just noticed it's Canadian
would have
colors.
been easier for me to just declare an allegiance to one side or the other.
Already have.
Would I be more popular or less popular now if I just pandered? Because
Buckley already does pandering.
Certainly, it seems like the current way to be somebody on the internet
pandering to one side or the other, not in sitting up here on the fence
is to just rile up one side of it.
He doesn't do that though. Buckley almost exclusively panders to the left. He makes left-wing videos. His fans are mostly left-wing. In fact, actually, yeah, we'll wait a few seconds.
Idiots or another. On the left, you have Twitter accounts like Occupy Democrats tweeting.
Yep, this is the part. This is the part exactly. Buckley called Occupy Democrats left, and Buckley's socialist audience said Occupy Democrats isn't left-wing because anyone right of Stalin or anyone right of Mao is a Nazi, basically.
Shit like this. Breaking. Trump and Republicans hit with more bad news as a new poll from Quinnipiac University finds that President Biden's approval rating just skyrocketed to 9% in a single month after a slew of legislative victories for him and the Democrat.
Yeah, Buckley's fans were saying Occupy Democrats isn't left-wing.
Reuters, who people have actually heard of, and is one of the most trusted news sources in the world, did a recent poll showing Biden's approval rating is at its lowest level ever. But who needs facts when you have a caps lock
This is the only time in this video when Buckley actually debunks anything left-wing. After that, it's just exclusively right-wing. So he's already lying. He's already had a bad start. And in the description, he says that he debunks lies. So he debunks lies while lying. Cell phone right there. So yeah, then he says on the right.
Lowest level ever. But who needs facts when you have a caps lock
this simple exists.
And then on the right, you have the bootlickers like Bridget Gabrielle.
Notice he called them bootlickers. Buckley is also... This is one way Buckley is pandering to the left, because bootlickers was used all throughout 2020 to describe people who Blue Lives Matter, conservatives, people who say defend the police instead of defund the police. So that's one way that Buckley's pandering to the left. Yeah. Buckley has declared a side. He keeps saying that he's not left-wing, even though he basically is.
One moment tweeting, liberals hate thinking, that's why they trust the government. And then the next saying, if every single member of Congress was like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's actually weird. He said Matt Gaetz, isn't it Matt Gaetz? I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The entire world would be a much better place. So, the entire world would be better off if all of Congress, a government institution, all thought exactly the same as two government employees, but trusting the government is for people who hate.
Well, if you want to play socialist logic, since Buckley's fans are socialist, and according to Buckley, if people of a certain group follow you, then that defines you. Cause yeah, Buckley said that the KKK endorsed Trump, and that's the reason Trump is bad. And he also said that the Freedom Convoy, there was someone who had a Confederate flag, so that represents the Freedom Convoyers. Yeah, so using Buckley's logic against him, he's a socialist, and since socialists say, they say stuff like, "Oh, we say we hate the rich. We mean people like Jeff Bezos, not AOC." Like whenever the tax the rich people do something hypocritical. So I'm gonna use that exact same stretch. These are just two people from the government, not the entire government.
Hate thinking. Sounds
Yeah,
good,
stretching's
George's
actually
fake
kind
name. But this is the game
of
now.
fake
You
name.
just tweet complete fucking bullshit for a reaction. Whether you
Yeah, notice how it's another conservative. And what did you say identity politics? Kid Rock should release new album the same day as Taylor Swift. Nothing about this is identity
do you even
politics.
believe it or not?
So yeah,
Maybe,
Buckley's
if you tweet
spreading
it enough
another
times,
lie.
you start to believe in it. Right, Steven Crowder? The host of
Another
Louder
right
with
winger, 3 right wingers, and 1 left winger occupy Democrats.
Crowder, who is probably more famous on the internet for his meme than his actual show, recently tweeted
Well,
this.
that's the point of memes, is for them to like. People don't care about the source, they just want to like meme and be funny. So, yeah, that's really no point in saying that. I mean, there are like countless memes from movies and TV. Like, Zoomers today would say, actually, not even. Trying to think of an example. Uh, yeah, let's take what's a Big Chungus, that became a meme, and a lot of people don't even know or they haven't bothered to look up where the meme came from. They just want to be funny.
In Canada, they can jail you for refusing to use the woke language they made up that day. Nearly 18,000 likes. Nearly 18,000 people liked a lie.
How many likes are 700? 700 people like this video that's full of lies.
This claim that he's not presenting his opinion, but as fact, to his 1.9 million followers and many more people.
Buckley's put not even 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes into this video, and Buckley already spread like 2 lies to his 500,000 subscribers.
Who have his content shoved in their algorithm,
link.
cough, is not based in reality. No one in Canada has ever gone to
Here's the
jail
link to
for
the original video.
refusing
I
to
should have
use
posted it
the
in the
woke
chat.
language they made up that day. There is no law for refusing to say certain words.
Canadian.
Buckley, you're being pedantic and you know it. He was being
Meet Sammy Strawman. Oh my god, this is ridiculous because he's trying to debunk strawman arguments. This is like strawman because people aren't even saying this. People aren't saying people never claimed Buckley became a centrist. This was actually part of his promo. I'll be right back. Yeah, this was Buckley's this was what Buckley put for when he was promoting this video. No one's claiming Buckley was a centrist. They're just saying that he went further left wing. Actually, I don't even know, because Buckley didn't have enough like right wing audience for me to like say. I just know that this isn't true because people in the comments, very few people actually have tried like responding to Buckley's arguments. none of them said he was a centrist. Unless he
Buddy,
thinks he's
he's a
Hunter
comedian.
Abalone.
Remember that thing you used to be before you became a lib and then claimed you're a centrist? You know Canada doesn't have freedom of speech like America does, and that's what he's talking about. You see, Steven Crowder used to be Canadian. So anytime he talks about what's going on here, his audience goes, oh, well, he used to be Canadian, so he's probably
Observing mind reading assumes motives.
He can make up whatever shit he wants. So,
This is
let's talk about
ridiculous.
free speech in Canada. Freedom of speech here is outlined in Section 2 of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Everyone has the following fundamental freedoms, freedom of conscience and religion, freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, including freedom of the press and other media communication,
That is a annoying southern accent again.
Freedom of association. Much like in the US, this is freedom from the government putting you in jail. If you walk into a Denny's and start screaming, Trump's a fascist, or fuck Joe Biden, Denny's can ask you to leave.
Wait, let's
example. If you don't, you can be arrested for trespassing.
Just like the US Canada's
now, before we go any further, I just want to say, even though it's
think
bullshit,
Crowder shouldn't be allowed to say
I
this
defend
now.
Steven Crowder's right to say it, just as I defend my own right to make fun of him for saying it. I very clearly believe
if you watch this channel for any amount of time and came for the conclusion that I'm not for free speech, you have listening comprehension problems.
But Stevie Chowder's clearly talking about something.
Stevie Chowder, that's cringe.
Let's talk about some of Canada's stories that people love to bring up because they read a headline or a
People
tweet.
or conservatives?
Most obvious, you might have heard of, is Bill C-16. Jordan Peterson claimed that this bill would...
Jordan Peterson, another right-winger. So, Bridget Gabriel, Nick Adams, Steven Crowder, and now Jordan Peterson, that's 4.
Illegal, and that they might be sufficient for him to be brought before the Ontario Human Rights Commission under their amended hate speech laws. The bill became law in 2017. It's 2022 now, and Peterson has not been forced in front of any human rights commissions because, apparently, he refuses to use a singular they to refer to non-binary people. Bill C-16 simply added gender expression and identity as a protected class within federal jurisdiction. In other words, the federal government can't deny employment or services to a trans person because they're trans. It also made it a criminal offense to advocate or promote genocide against members of a protected group. Now, I
find that rule to be like kind of counterintuitive, I guess, because why would you like promote genocide for anyone?
Or promote
why does that have to be like specifically a protected group?
I've never been Jordan Peterson's student, but I can assume that he never said, class, today's homework is for you to go murder one of those they-thems. No one has and no one will go to jail because they just don't want to say they. Yeah, but what about the guy who went to jail because he misgendered his own kid? This was a popular one amongst the fruitcakes too. So, here's the story. British Columbia. Some kid wants gender transition therapy. I'm really on the fence on that one. I'm a do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm anyone else. Who the fuck cares
I'm on the same.
But I also don't know that children should be able to make certain decisions like this. It's a pretty big decision. However, my opinion is irrelevant. British Columbia allows minors to make their own medical choices. The mom supports the child's decision, the dad doesn't. So, the kid's going through with it. This all winds up in family court.
So, there was someone who...
stop the kid, and at some point, he's court-ordered not to make public any information that would identify the child, to call the child by their preferred name and gender pronoun, oh, there it is, and to not share his opinions of the case publicly.
He's not funny, he's just
what did he do? He goes and gets interviewed by some YouTuber where he was alleged to have identified healthcare providers, revealed information about the child's mental health, mental status, or treatments, and gave out information that could reveal his, the child's, and the mother's identity.
Someone posted this in the comments. He said, I get Buckley's point. It all sounds like a technicality that people like Crowder are still correct. And they use like a bear and a hiker
to use woke language. He didn't go to jail for calling his son his daughter. He went to jail for telling everyone who they were and sharing specific details about their kid's identity and medical records.
So yeah, here's the comment. I got Buckley's point. it all sounds like a technicality, and that people like Crowder are still correct. If a bear killed a hiker in the woods because he was looking for a pile of trash a previous hiker carelessly left, one could say the hiker was killed by a bear, and that wouldn't have occurred if the previous hiker didn't leave the garbage at that particular spot. So you could then argue that it was the previous hiker that killed the one attacked by the bear.
When he was specifically told not to. Oh, yeah, okay, but, well, what about that comedian in Canada that they fined?
I've heard no one bring this up.
Oh, you mean the guy who won a Supreme Court case? Yes, this is also a very popular example of Canada not having any free speech. A comedian, Mike Ward, made jokes about some singer named Jeremy Gabriel, who has something called Treacher-Collins syndrome, which makes him look a little different. And so Mike Ward made fun of him for this. Look at his kid's head. Man, I can't understand why this guy isn't more well-known. Doing material about a deformed child singer no one's ever heard of? Man, why isn't Netflix knocking down this guy's door? Anyway, Jeremy's parents file a human rights complaint, and Mike Ward is ultimately ordered to pay a $35,000 fine. Not jail time, by the way, but a fine.
Oh, no jail time.
He appeals, a event that jokes, even jokes about people's handicaps, are protected free speech here. You can't go to jail or be fined for making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene's cloven hooves or telling her that you really loved her in Pan's Labyrinth. Nor can you be arrested for calling wheelchair-bound Democratic Congressman James Langevin Hot Rod. Our Supreme Court said so. Now, in the interest of fairness, yes, we do have more strict hate speech laws in Canada than they do in the U.S. For example, in 2008, a politician...
Ranting Monkey is like example set it best because there's no humor speech.
Named David Popescu,
here's where he strawmans.
Sentenced to 18 months of probation, so not even jail time, for saying during a Q&A at a high school that homosexuals
Here comes the cringe. Get ready for the cringe.
Oh, he's being forced to use the woke language of not calling for the systematic murder of a group of people. The libs are at it again.
I'm pretty sure conservatives would have hated this if they heard it now. They're using an example, an outdated example, from when, I know he's talking about Canadian laws. Actually, he's talking about both America and Canada. He's talking about a time where it was still illegal for gays to get married in America. So yeah, this is a really stupid example, or really stupid way of mocking them, because conservatives would know, they'd be against this. And I get the feeling that this is like Buckley secretly calling them a Nazi or something.
But fuck, for the final time, not a single person in Canada has gone to jail for misgendering a person or refusing to say a word. Crowder made this statement up because he knew the goofball audience that he's cultivated would eat it up, because he knows none of them will do any more research into it. He knows no one reads beyond the headline. And right now, someone who read his bullshit is telling someone else, hey, did you know in Canada they jail you if you refuse to call one of them?
There's a typical southern accent that Buckley cringely does in all these videos.
Trans what's it's a she instead of a he or a they? Crowder said it, so it must
Shut
be true.
up.
In Crowder's fantasy land, Luca Magnotta, the dude that butchered his boyfriend, and Paul Bernardo, Canada's most depraved, most despised scumbag, are sharing a prison with a guy who said, excuse me, sir, to a transgender employee at a Burger King.
That's really a stretch. I'm pretty sure he didn't think that at all.
Isn't it funny? The freedom Crowder
enjoys. Isn't it funny that you're able to make all these strawman arguments and then create a character, Strawman Sammy?
Gives her the freedom to claim she doesn't have that freedom. No, I mean he and him.
This is cringe.
The Canadian police are coming for me, eh? You'll never take me alive, clip-clop cops.
Cringe ending to a cringe video. So that's basically it. Yeah, I can't get over. Oh, I should probably still have the video up so that it remains the thumbnail. Um, yeah, so I put the link in the description, or I mean in the chat. Where is the? Yeah, I want it to be the thumbnail. Um, I guess this is good enough. I don't know. Um, yeah, I guess it's good enough. So, just another typical cringe Buckley video where he strawmans and lies. Um, and the fans, Buckley's audience, or Buckley's socialist audience, are even more cringe. What socialists in general aren't really smart; they're just loud, and they think that makes them smart. So, um, yeah, it's Occupy Democrats isn't left wing. They say, oh, it's only left wing for Republicans. Um, I hate Chowder almost as much as I hate Tim Poo. That guy. Actually, I should also. Yeah, there are so many comments here that are. The comments are like more cringe than before. Uh, yeah, I should do like a separate stream where I just read the comments. Um, because there's just like a lot that people say. Um, polls are always changing. Oh, freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. The NPC nonsense. Yeah, so I'm gonna see when I can do a follow-up stream where I just read the comments to this video. Uh, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna get going. See you all in the next stream, which I hope isn't. Yeah, which I hope is soon. I don't know. I just haven't had much time to stream. Haven't had much time. I've just been busy and tired, unfortunately. So Buckley is a lying left-wing partisan hack, and his socialist audience are